I'm knocking on the door like, where's my paycheck? Oh, we don't have it. Oh, you're going to get paid next week. Oh, you're not getting paid at all. I'm good at mid-level market. Like, I did so good at these sales, bro, that like I didn't really bug. The only part that I bugged out about and why I was twisted was because of the pure fact that I wasn't getting paid. Hey everybody, it's the Mental Upload coming back at you with another video. So today I wanted to talk about something that has been burning inside of me for a very, 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 very long time. This is going to be a conversation about how I got like dragged into an MLM. And if you don't know what MLM stands for, it stands for mid-level marketing scheme. Some people consider them to be pyramid schemes just because of how they work. But I guess the difference between a mid-level marketing scheme and a pyramid scheme is the fact that mid-level marketing hides the fact that they're a pyramid scheme. That's really the only difference. So I'm just going to tell you my story. And then if you're interested in sticking around longer for the conversation, I can talk about, I'm sorry, I'm scratching my leg. So if you're interested in sticking around after my story, after my chat, basically, and you want to hear a little bit more about the conversation that I'm going to be digging into, that's going to be at the part 2 of the video. So the first part is my story. The second part is kind of like what I have gotten from my experience here. I wish I still had my ID badge so that you guys could see, but I was in a mid-level marketing scheme that sold internet services, and basically we worked for major companies. So the company that I worked at the time was Verizon, and we basically sold internet packages, TV, cable to small businesses. This is the evidential proof that I have that I worked in a mid-level marketing scheme. You can see here all the listings of the door-to-doors that I had to do, and kind of like at the bottom, maybe I can pull one that's older. This is a really good one, actually. You can see this is all of my like doors that I had to knock. And then down here is my law of averages, if you know what that is. Law of averages is a scary thing. All right, let's get into this. I experienced a really crazy hardship. I essentially was laid off from my job, and I needed a job. I needed to make money. I needed to figure out how I was going to be able to sustain myself. But at the same time, there's like weird dust things. I need something that's going to be very good for me. And lo and behold, I see a job application, and it's like leadership, like marketing, like we will train you type thing. And that was something really big for me because I kept getting into these jobs where I wanted to be trained. I wanted somebody to teach me how to do the job, because in a lot of instances when you're working in corporate America, they're not going to teach you anything, you know? And so I was really struggling at that time. And of course, African-American female looking for a job, you're desperate. I'm in need right now. And this job is hitting all the markers that I do. They played me. I'm not gonna lie to you. They played me. It was very professional. The first red flag that I noticed was that they were bumping music in the office. And I was like, okay, like that's odd. Like that's not like a usual normal office type. But I didn't think of it as anything because like a lot of offices have very different office culture. So the initial interview was remote. It was a screening interview. She asked me very professional questions to where I thought that I was getting ready to go into like an entry level, like they're going to use my communication minor and they're going to use my leadership skills so far to put me in this job. So I make the first interview. I have my follow-up interview, which is in the office. Red flag number one, like I said, was the music. Red flag number two was they didn't really have any like COVID precautions going on. Like people weren't wearing masks. Some people were wearing masks. They told me to wear a mask in the office, but then when I got there, people weren't wearing masks. So like I just didn't know what to do. Of course, in COVID, regardless of vaccination status, regardless of if you believe in masks or not, I don't really care. I just needed to know like what we were doing. So that was red flag number two. I felt comfortable because the person that was interviewing me was African American, and so that was already a connection that we built. And she loved my experience. They told me to bring my resume. I brought my resume. We hit it off great. It was a great interview, and she asked me when I could start, and I said I could start the following week. Everything worked out well. First day onboarding, they slap a big packet in front of my face. And they said, okay, and this is where they start getting you. You read this big contract, and basically when you're in an MLM or you're doing a job like I did where you had to like sell, like, when you have to sell telecommunication services to small businesses, you become a private contractor. The reason why they tell you got to hit your LOAs, your law of averages, and you got to like make certain benchmarks is because you're not getting paid by the company. But the way that they did the salary was I had two options of how I could get paid. I could go 100% commission, or I could go 50% commission, 50% salary. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do 50% commission, 50% salary. But they didn't explain to me. They did it in very fine print on the document, and it's difficult to understand when you're doing it initially because you don't know what you're like, you don't know your output going into something that you've never done before. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do 50% salary, 50% commission. Lo and behold, you have to hit certain benchmarks to qualify for your salary. Like you're going to get your commission, but you're not going to get your salary. So I'm reading this contract over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay, like I agree to be an independent contractor. Like that's nothing that I'm bugging about because like I understand how contracting works. And then the third red flag, right? This is another red flag because I already lost count. I feel so bad. The third red flag that I ran into was basically you had an attendance thing. For the first 5 days of your job, you have to show up on time. That's not cutting it with me. I showed up 5 minutes late, and one day I was on time. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday I showed up 5 minutes late. I hit them up. I texted them 20 minutes before because you have to understand DC traffic. If you drive in the DMV, you know how crazy it is down here. If there's an accident, you're late. So I texted them. I was stuck in traffic for 30 minutes. I was like, listen, like I'm finna be 5 minutes late. There's an accident right now. I was not lying. There was an accident. He said, okay, not a problem. We'll do it. So I didn't get a bonus because I was 5 minutes late on a Wednesday. That bothered me because that was the only pay I was going to get for that week, which was fine because I knew that I could make it up the following week because I got paid bi-weekly. But that kind of bothered me because nobody was clear with me in terms of what the stipulations were in terms of lateness. They didn't really care if I was late based off of my, if it was an emergency situation or not. They were just like, oh, you didn't follow it, so you're just not going to get it. Sidestep, do I think that this was a way for them to save money? Yes, because if you say, oh, you're all early, you're all on time, you're going to get a bonus. And the bonus was only $100. It wasn't even that much. So that kind of got me. What threw me off and what kind of allowed me to not understand how crazy of a situation I was getting into was my onboarding process. I onboarded with so many different people. I onboarded with a group of 5. And I don't know why I didn't think that. I think when you get laid off from a job, and this is how MLMs attack people that are desperate. When you get laid off from an MLM, when you get laid off from a job, you need money, you want a difference in your life, and you want it to make good connections. They hit every single thing. It's something different. The only thing that I didn't like, I was up on my feet all day. I've done retail sales before, so I've been on my feet all day. I've done canvassing jobs for campaign, so I've been walking all over the place. So like the walking part, the door-to-door didn't bother me because I did door-to-door before. I just thought it was something different. What I started to notice that was that people were dropping out, but people were dropping out not because of the fact that they were in MLM, but because of the fact that like they didn't want to do the work. Like one person used to work for Amazon and she just didn't, I don't know why she dropped out. Like she just was like, I don't have a car, which was the thing. Like you needed to have your own transportation in order to do the job. The second guy was in college, so like he couldn't really handle the hours along with his work. And then there was a third girl who had a family and she couldn't do it either. And so the only two people that were left were me and this other girl. We'll name her Sam. Me and Sam stayed, which was it made sense. I was like, okay, like me and Sam. Lo and behold, Sam was a black woman. Sam was black. Now that we got the like introduction of what's going on, I wanted to then talk about kind of like my initial response to the first day. So you go into this room and it's called atmosphere. They call this room that you enter into atmosphere. Like, oh, we're going to have atmosphere. It's this hot ass room. Ain't no windows there. There's windows, but the windows are shaded down. Atmosphere is to team build. It is to break you down and get you in a psychological headspace to where all you can think about is your job. All you can think about is hitting those numbers, hitting those money goals. I did not like atmosphere at all because all we did was play games, bro. I'm sitting here like, why are we playing games when we could be making money right now? Like, and a lot of people didn't like that. But the thing is that if you didn't participate, then you would get fired. You would get disciplined. Like there were people that didn't participate and they would get dragged out. That was something that I didn't enjoy because I'm like, what does me playing games have to do with the job? But that's how mid-level marketing works, is mid-level marketing. And a lot of jobs that want to like create company loyalty will put you in a situation to where you're going to do these games. You're going to team build in order to build up an environment that makes you want to come to work and make you desperate to work. So that was the thing. I ended up getting stuck with this really amazing girl. I really miss her. I think she genuinely was an amazing person. I have nothing against her. I texted her and let her know everything. I was like, listen, like, I think you're stuck in an MLM. Like, you need to really check yourself. Like, this is not it right now, sis. Like, you can be making bank right now with your degree and you're not. And she was like, I didn't even text her back. Like, she texted me. I didn't even text her back. I was like, listen, like, I'm on my way to my parents' house right now. I don't want to deal with you at all. Just because I knew that she was going to try to psych me out, and I knew, especially after watching videos, that MLMs manipulate their employees to think, like, if you can't handle it, then there's something wrong with you. Like, there's nothing wrong with us. There's something wrong with you. And I knew I wouldn't be able to talk her out of it. She would need an intervention within herself in order to move forward. So I went ahead and I kind of, I left, but my experience with her was great because she taught me the ropes. She taught me the ropes and she pushed me. She was really motivating. And that's the one thing that I did enjoy about about the job. And that's what's tricky about them is you don't, like, when you're desperate and when you're in a position, you think that you're growing. You think that you're actually doing good, when in actuality, every single step that you take, you're further and further and further away from the finish line. So basically, the way it was, I had the interview. I had a week, 3 days of training, I think. 4, 5, I think I had a week of training, and then I was on my own after that. And this is how it works. Basically, you get a territory, or at least how it works for me, is basically you get a territory. And these were my 2 territories that I had while I was there. This was like, is this Virginia? This was Virginia. No, this was Maryland. This is Herndon. This was Virginia, but it says Maryland. So I had this whole like zip code, and you just had to drive to as many places in here. So you had to like go on Google, like look around this zip code and like zoom in on these different places to find different territories. Like I had circled like the spot, like the hot spots of where the different stores were and small businesses. But I'm gonna be honest, like I wasn't here long because this is primarily a residential area. Like they don't pick that out for you. Like my boss didn't pick that out. She was just like, oh, like pull up to this one place and you're gonna be able to be here. So I was here and I did a great job. Like that's the thing, is like I did so good at mid-level market. Like I did so good at these sales, bro, that like I didn't really bug. The only part that I bugged out about and why I was twisted was because of the pure fact that I wasn't getting paid. My first day on the floor, I must have made a $500 sale. I must have made like three, like I was making money the first day, the first week that I was on the floor. The only problem was because of the fact that I'm an independent contractor and I didn't hit the stipulations of what they wanted me to hit, I didn't get my payout. I did not know that, because they didn't explain to me. I'm up here sitting and talking with the director, like, why am I not getting paid? Where's my paycheck? Where's my paycheck? Oh, we don't have it. Oh, you're gonna get paid next week. Oh, you're not getting paid at all. Okay. At that moment when she was like, you're not getting paid at all because you didn't hit your LOAs, I said, all right, peace, I'm out. It was brutal. You would pull up, you would get this. This was my second territory that I had, which was deep, bro. When I tell you this was like an hour out of the office, you would have to drive to the office, drive to your place, drive back to the office, and drive home. Like when I realized I was like, it was gas. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I was like, this isn't worth it. I must have been there for 2 weeks. I was like, I can't do this anymore. 2-3 weeks, I couldn't do it. But the thing is like, you're in your mind thinking, I just need to make it to the next day. I just need to hit my LOAs. They manipulate you to think that if you just try a little harder, you'll make it. I'm lucky that I was able to get out because I walked so many hours, put so many miles in my car, got a flat tire, wasted gas, wasted time, wasted energy. For what? For what? To give back to a corporation that made money off of me, and to put small businesses in a position to where they're actually getting scammed money and they're not making the money, they're not getting the actual savings that Verizon or AT&T promises them. It's not worth it, bro. It's not worth it. It's not, like, these people need to be stopped. This needs to be considered illegal. Like they would always, and this is the thing, is it started to become a hustle. Like they would be like, oh, if you're getting an objection, like if somebody tells you like they're not interested, you press them. Of course, this is regular sales, but this is dirty dog sales. When I tell you, like, some of these people are dirty dogs, bro, I honestly was scared. I'm a very nice person. If someone tells me that they're not interested, I'm going to be like, thank you so much for your time. Like, I understand. And I'm not going to push it. But these people would press, bro. These people would press. I found out that this was an MLM, I think on YouTube. YouTube had recommended me a video called Devil Corp. And I watched the whole hour-long video. I'm going to link it for you. And the video shook me. The video talked exactly about the same thing. Then I watched the video about how actor Chris Pratt got pulled into a mid-level marketing scheme too. And he said it. He was like, they make you do these chants. Like, I don't think I remember my chant. My chant was like, hey guys, hey, what? And they were like, it's time to make money. And we were like, showtime. Yeah, showtime. And like, looking back, it was a cult, bro. Like, I was so susceptible to a cult. Like, it makes you feel bad on the inside. Like, it makes you feel some type of way. It makes you feel like I didn't deserve to do that. Like, I didn't have to do that. But in the end, I got to visit so many different places. Looking at the positive side, I got to visit so many different places and I got to see so many different things. But now I know. I had no idea these existed. I didn't even know mid-level marketing schemes like this existed. And that's the thing, is that people that are of low income or people of color are gonna just think that this is a good job. People that are low educated or people that want to change in their career are going to think that this is a great job opportunity. And that's the sad thing, is like, this isn't a great job opportunity, but they manipulate you and they put you in a predicament to think that this is a great job opportunity, and they suck the soul out of you and they suck your money away. Like, really, like, think about it. Like, these people weren't making that much money, and we would have to do team nights where you would have to drive somewhere and you would have to drink. Like, everybody was drinking beer. Like, that was the fun thing. Like, everybody vaped. I didn't vape. Everybody vaped. Everybody drank beer after long hours, and they thought that that was just like what it was. And I'm like, bro, like, you're spending money by buying your vapes. You're spending money by drinking your beer. You're spending money by driving your miles on your car that you're going to have to repair. One guy put diesel in his car. Like, one guy literally put diesel in his car and couldn't work for an entire week. Like, come on now. Like, and the boss didn't even care, bro. Like, the boss dad was like, I don't know what to tell you. I drive a Lexus. Like, that's the thing too, is you got the bosses that just tout. Like, they just pander to you. They just make it seem like it's so easy. Like, oh, I just bought my dad a boat. I bought him a Rolex. I bought my husband a Rolex watch. I bought myself a Lexus off the lot. Like, it just bothered me. It just irked me. And that was another thing that made me want to quit, was how they weren't interested in their career goals. The people at this job were interested in making money and interested in hustling people, literally illegally committing fraud. They were committing fraud to make money selfishly for themselves, to eventually open their own business and put themselves in a position to where they could make money off of other people. Like, that's the thing, is the longer I was in this MLM, the more I knew that, okay, these people aren't really here to sell telecommunication services. These people are here to make a band off of somebody after committing fraud and after illegally putting themselves in a bad position. And then they would, and then with the hope that they could make money off of this person and get the promotion that they need. It's sickening. It was so sickening how I would literally see people like up people's offers without notifying these people and sign off on them for them. Like, and then some of these people have language barriers. And if, like, I've literally walked into positions to where the person had a language barrier, didn't know what was going on, and they signed themselves up for the telecommunication service. Like, that's shitty. These people are really shitty, and they need to be stopped. And someone needs to do something about this. It needs to be put on blast. And I'm sharing my story as a way to allow people to know that this is real, and it can happen to anybody. I'm a college educated person with a full-time job now. I'm doing a lot better in my life, but at the time, this was the best thing that I could do, you know? And I hope more people wake up and realize that you're trapped. You're trapped. And it's okay. You're gonna, like, and when people realize, you're gonna try to, like, make it seem like it's not what it is, but it really is, and just be upfront with them about it. But that's the thing, is, like, the job puts you in such denial that you can't even see it. Well, hope you guys enjoyed my story, and I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Don't forget to give your mind a break. And this was The Mental Upload, signing off.